Hi, my name is Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I'd like to discuss how the Good Law Project and Dawn Butler seem to be making life a little bit uncomfortable for the Conservatives over allegations that they are illegally gathering your personal data in order to target you in the general election without your consent. It may blow up as early as next week. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel. So I don't want to alarm you, but this may be a minor popcorn alert. Indeed, we might be headed for a tasty little spectacle in the House of Commons, maybe next week. Before I get on to what Dawn Butler seems to be planning, a bit of background. So I've recently done videos about how the Conservatives are attempting to gather people's personal information by nefarious means. They've been putting out, sites which they sound like public information sites, but in order for you to get the information it purports to be able to present to you, you have to put in your personal details like email addresses, things like that. And the most famous example would be their tax saving calculator when they cut national insurance. Oh, go on this thing and find out how much you will save. Now, in reality, there are lots of independent third-party sites that you can do for that. You should not be using one produced by a political party. But the idea was, of course, to get your personal details. The aim is believed to be used to target people, to bombard people with campaign information through emails and so on during the general election campaign. Now, this is illegal at the moment. Like, you can put a flyer through someone's door. You're not allowed to target them with like email spam because people have to give their consent to receive that. But the government are pushing legislation through Parliament at the moment, which would change the law during general election campaigns. And as I'll be discussing in the stream this evening, the Tories are planning a lot of very dirty tricks this election. Despite the polls, they think they've got an ace up their sleeve. And it seems very much related to tactics like this. But regardless of legislation being passed at the moment, the Good Law Project are not convinced that the way the Tories are gathering this personal information right now is lawful. Labour's Dawn Butler had challenged Rishi Sunak to say that his party was following all the laws, and the Prime Minister responded that he was quite happy to say that it did. But the Good Law Project don't agree and are taking legal action against the Conservative Party as part of this legal action. The Conservative Party wrote a letter in response to the Good Law Project. Now, we do not know what that letter says. The Good Law Project have not published the content, not because they don't want to, and not because of the ongoing legal case that they're pursuing preventing them. They are, for now, keeping the contents of the Conservatives' letter under wraps because the Tories are claiming that the contents of the letter are copyrighted to them and that any publication would be a breach of copyright law. Have you ever heard of such a thing in your life? I haven't. And the Good Law Project are also dubious, but they're getting their own expert legal advice on the matter before doing anything about it. Obviously, better safe than sorry. So already getting quite interesting. Why would Rishi Sunak, who claims to be governing with integrity and transparency, have his party write a letter to lawyers for a legal case but go to such extraordinary lengths to prevent the public finding out the contents? I mean, for a start, isn't it going to become public when the case is heard in court anyway? Or perhaps the Conservatives think that they just need to slow things down, create delays to get the general election out of the way. As soon as the campaign begins, Purdah will likely prevent any reporting on this case. And if Sunak is just weeks away from calling the election, as he might be, he only has to delay things a bit if he's worried this court case could blow the lid off his plans. But then Dawn Butler spiced things up yesterday. So she retweeted a post from the Good Law Project's Jolie Moem, who was explaining to people that they'd had this letter from the Conservatives and that they were saying they can't publish it because of copyright law, right? And so what she did is she was to say, well, hang on a minute, this is odd, isn't it? These don't seem to be the actions of a party which hasn't broken the law, before adding that there was nothing the Conservatives can do if she were to read the letter out in full in the House of Commons. Now, assuming that's the case, and that the Good Law Project can disclose the letter privately to an MP, that would mean we can expect Butler to find time next week to do just that. We may have to wait until the end of the week, like Friday afternoon when there's no MPs about, basically. Just like when she famously had to leave the chamber for calling Boris Johnson a liar and not retracting the statement. But that won't matter. She won't need to read it out to generate a debate within the House of Commons. That would be nice, but that's not necessary. The purpose will be to make sure the public can find out what the contents of that letter are. So interesting. And if the Tories are so desperate to prevent the disclosure of a letter that they have themselves written to opposing lawyers, that they try to hide behind copyright laws, then you might imagine no small amount of concern in Rishi Sunak's office this weekend if they think it's absolutely fine for the Good Law Project to give privately a copy to an MP. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, the join button for memberships. And until next time, I'll see you later.